are very lucky to have two guests from Turkey. I wish we were in person because this is an interview that would be probably much better in person where everyone could ask questions. Instead, you have to watch it. And I'm asking the questions. And if you want to ask questions later, you can write these people. So please introduce yourselves and we'll start with the interview.
All right, let me start. I'm Zafer from Orta. Orta is a renowned denim fabric manufacturer in Turkey. And I am directing sales, marketing, R&D, operations and sustainability there.
And my name is Zafer Kaplan from Gamma Recycle from Turkey. We are a recycling company. We recycle mostly used garments. We make also post-industrial waste recycling, as well as PET bottle recycling. We make polyester fibers out of PET bottles, and we make also spinning out of that recycled fibers into different, let's say, systems like open end or ring spinning. And totally, we are, in every field, we are using recycled fibers.
Thank you. Thank you. Zafer, the first question I have is that the industry has been challenged with closing the loop. And, true circularity means relooking at processes that are in place. Can you tell us about your new partnerships with Gamma Recycling and what this means to your sustainability measures?
Yeah, of course. Well, since you mentioned true circularity is still a challenge. Everyone in the industry, and not only for our industry, but also like all the industries in the world. A recent report is published by Circular Economy, the Circularity Gap Report 2020. I don't know if you have a chance to just read the report, but here they say the world is 8.6% circular. That means only 8.6% of the materials we used are cycled back into the system, into the economy, leaving a really massive circularity gap. The worst part is it used to be 9.1% circular in 2018. So the number is going down really fast. Yes, I understand we need materials to fulfill our needs and wants, but we definitely need to know that we consume resources of the world and we produce emissions by doing that. And the circular economy ensures this with less material and less emissions, actually. So these facts are really challenging us at Orta. And we are constantly thinking about new ways how we can improve our handprint mission, and starting here in Turkey in our local community, in our own community. Circularity is thinking of ways to upcycle better, but also circularity is thinking ways on how to reduce the carbon footprint, our carbon footprint as well. So this year we partnered with Gamma, with Zafer, a recycling center, a very well-known recycling center, by the way, in Turkey, to create a local circular model. In this model, Orta is supplying its trustworthy waste to Gamma. Our waste fiber is free from all hazardous materials and is considered premium level waste since the source can be traced back to our factory in Kayseri. And Gamma will be sending Orta recycled fibers that we are going to use in our fabric production. So this way we will be able to repurpose approximately 3,000 tons of waste that we generate in a year. Mainly, this is coming from our spinning production processes. Like 95% of this is coming from our spinning production. So we are really believing in this power, in the power of this collaboration, as stated in the SDG number 17. A successful sustainable development requires partnerships from all parties. So that's why we greatly value this partnership as well, that we are establishing here with Gamma for closing the loop for the denim industry. And together, Orta and Gamma are guaranteeing trust, safety, traceability, and true circularity. That closes the loop at the local level in Turkey. So this new eco partnership, because of that, also reduces any extraneous carbon emissions on the side of like doing that. So that's also important because the carbon emissions in recycling usually comes from transportation as well. And the cities where we locate in Turkey are also really close to each other, which is decreasing the total carbon emissions as well. So we are leveraging a true local partnership here that reduces it and creates a closed loop model for the denim industry, I would say.
Thank you. I have another question for you. What is Orta's waste management strategy, and what's happening, or what was happening, to all of your waste before this collaboration?
Yeah, actually, we have a waste management system that we categorize, collect, separate, and find new uses of all waste coming out of our factory. We have a dedicated team inside for waste management, and in line with our material strategy, first action is, of course, not to create waste and use resources efficiently. The second action is, again, minimize waste, and then collect, measure, reuse if possible, and if not, dispose them in an environmentally friendly way. When we say waste, it's not only the textile waste we generate. Yes, we have fiber, yarn, and fabric waste, but we also have bale wires or leftover rolls or packaging waste, etc. So we used to sell our textile waste to recycling companies before. They never ended up in landfill, but this time we know what happens then after they got out of our gates. We know they will not be downcycled, and that's the most important thing, I think. They will become a valuable source for our ecosystem with this partnership. About 95% of our waste, I told you, is coming out of spinning mill. So they're actually very valuable, like the fiber itself. When you think about all the water, energy, chemicals, and human factor added to produce million tons of cotton and other fibers in the ecosystem. And on the other side, waste is going from out of factory, like in one side, waste is going, and the other side, our use of recycled content, waste as a raw material in our system increases year over year. Last year, more than 5% of our overall raw material used was recycled cotton, and we expect this number to go higher this year and or the upcoming years for Orta. So with the aid of this partnership with Gamma, we will be continuously expanding our golden ratio standard for recycled fabrics, and now we are proud to add that we're also reducing carbon emissions with this local partnership as well.
It's great. Super. So Zafer, can you explain what it is that excited you about the partnership with Orta, and was this difficult to implement into your recycling process?
Okay, thank you. So as you know, Orta is one of the best denim suppliers, denim fabric supplier in Turkey. So it was a good pleasure for us to cooperate with Orta. They have really good and skilled staff, very good experience, and so we also learned a lot from them. So we received their waste, and we recycle according to their inquiries, and then we supply them accordingly.
How far is your factory from their factory?
Almost 350 kilometers. We have two facilities actually. One is in Gaziantep in the southeast of Turkey, which is almost 350 kilometers to Kayseri, and the next facility is almost 500 kilometers to Kayseri, which is called Düzce. So it is in the west part of Turkey. But in any case, we are not far to Orta Anadolu.
Sedef, what do you think is going to be the ultimate percentage that we're going to need in denim for recycled fibers? I mean, regardless of what we're doing today, what do you think it's going to end up as?
Well, of course, I need to take into account what's happening today in the system. Yeah. And we are pretty much using 20% of recycled content, cotton, specifically in the fabric right now without any major problem, let me put it that way. Of course, there are some kind of fabrics which are really flat or like premium looking that you really don't want to see, like short fibers or like slubby look. So there we use up to 5%. But for like vintagey looks, really denim, authentic denim fabric, we can use up to 20% if it is like heavy. If it is like shorting weight, we are again adjusting the percentage. And that know-how we called golden ratio, because we believe that it is really important to increase the recycling content, but it is also important that the fabric should look good. And the strength of
Sorry, go ahead.
and the strength of the fabric should be okay also, because we don't want to wear it like once or twice and throw it away.
Right.
We want it to last for a long time. We want to have memories with them, make that feeling last. That's the main objective.
Can we get to 30% or 35%?
We can 30, yeah, we can get 30%, but that's why I also value, we value as Orta our partnership with Gamma as well, because then we definitely need to work on how we are recycling the fabrics also. Mm-hmm. It is a very delicate point, because yeah, it needs to be experienced. On and on. I'm pretty sure we will increase it to 30% too. But once you talked about the overall consumption, last year, for example, yes, we have fabrics, that we use 20%. We have fabrics that use 30%. We have fabrics that use 5%. So the overall material usage, we've used 5% of our overall raw material consumption as recycled cotton. I'm not talking about recycled polyester, by the way. These are like other, or like refibra. They are all like additional to that number. So like to give a percentage like that, I think we can see that 20% in 5 years. But we need to really excel on it. We need to have close partnership with the recycling facility, and we need to have close partnership with machinery manufacturers. The innovation may come from them as well. It is doable, but we still need to work on it. That's how I see it. There are some like small projects that we do, as Zafer will mention most probably. If they change the source of the fabric as like, let's say, bed linen or like other sources where high fiber lengths are used, then we can also change the percentage, but these are very specific. You can't really like separate the line and use that only, because that source is, I think, the major problem right now in our overall supply chain. Not only the percentage that we are able to use, but also the source of recycled content is also a major problem in the system right now.
So Zafer, your business must be on fire. You must be growing like crazy.
Oh yeah. So we are the biggest regenerated yarn manufacturer actually in the world, I would say, because
in the world.
In the world, yes.
That's a big place. The world is a big place.
Yeah, because I know that, but we are manufacturing almost 6,000 tons of regenerated yarn every month. So it is really last 22 years we have been investing on this field. So we started in 1998 to this business. So the business itself is, almost 5 years before we were doing as commercial. This was a regular business for us, but then there was some inquiries coming from the garment industry to recycle garments to garment again. And it was at the beginning, we also didn't believe very much, but then afterwards we tried to develop some ideas. And so today we are in the good position, I would say. We are able to recycle especially denim garments into denim again. We collect the garments from several areas, mostly in Turkey, but we also import a little bit. But the regulation in Turkey is not allowing to use garments into Turkey, unfortunately. But
Zafer, you also have a, I mean, if we ask, let's say, the supply from ICO, for example, you were able to get that, right?
We are in the discussion with ICO. We used to get from ICO several loads in the past, and we are now in discussion with ICO and some other brands together. So we will take the denim garments or some other garments also from them for recycling, also for sorting as well, because one of the most important part of this system is to separate reusable ones. In the world, I would say every year, almost 130 million tons of textiles are produced, and less than 1% is recycled. And that items are mostly downcycling. Mainly, they are gone for non-woven industry, and some isolation materials are produced out of these used garments. But as I said, last 5 years, there was a big interest. And for that reason, we also invested a lot for technology, for R&D, and so on. And today we believe it will work. So especially in the denim industry, the quantities are growing very much. We are also recycling PET bottles into polyester fibers, and there we also developing, I show already to Sedef, indigo dyeable polyester.
Say that slowly again. Say that again.
Exciting.
Indigo dyeable polyester. So this is the first. This is first time in the world. So it is not yet in mass production. I think in end of April or in May we will bring the first mass production into the market, especially with Orta. We want to make the first trials. But this is really, I mean, because every year in the world, especially in the denim sector, 5 million tons of cotton is consumed. And, you know, cotton production itself is not very sustainable process, because you need a lot of water, especially for the denim industry. It is one of the most...
You have to read our reports that we're writing about how you don't need a lot of water, but that's okay. You can say that.
Because denim itself is even most water-consuming textile among the other textiles, because normally for one T-shirt or 1 kilogram T-shirt, you need approximately 11 tons of water, but for denim, you need more than 15 tons of water for 1 kilograms of garment, from the length till the shops. So this is really a big water demanding sector. So if we save with polyester, indigo dyeable polyester, if we at least supply maybe 50% of the market demand, which means almost 2.5 million tons of cotton, and this is a big quantity. I mean, that makes a lot of sense to go in that field. So that's why we focused on that ideas, and we are almost ready to go for mass production, I would say.
Sounds exciting. As a cotton person, I'm afraid of the day when polyester is the solution to the environment compared to cotton. But okay, I heard that you have an interesting point of view on shedding of micropolyesters. So as our last question, do you want to share your thoughts on that?
There are actually rumors on the polyester a lot in the market that it is not sustainable or it is not environmental friendly and a lot of microplastic, etc. But I would say this is not a correct information because there is a cotton lobby that they are manufacturing this kind of rumors in the market because polyester itself, the weight of the polyester molecules is heavier than water. And if you just use polyester garments and if you take it to the washing machine, so you wash it with detergents and other stuff, and then you discharge the water. And almost everywhere in the world, the waters are collected in the centers, and then they are treated in the water treatment system. So as I said, the polyester molecules are heavier. The weight of polyester molecule is 1.38. So that means 38% heavier than water. So in the water treatment units, all the polyester molecules or particles or microplastic, it is called, they just sink down and then it is separated easily from the water with the other let's say heavy material like sands or let's say other stuff, but then it is sinking down, so it is not going to the ocean from the washing machines. It does not go to the ocean. That is what I mean. So
If you have
it
a
is not,
water treatment plant, though, like in the country, meaning.
I mean, almost everywhere in the world. I mean, even the developing countries, they have water treatment units. And during that treatment units, as I said, polyester microfilaments or dust, etc., they are sinking down in the treatment units. So it does not go to the ocean. But there are, of course, microplastics coming into the market. But the most dangerous part, for example, I give you an example. The label, what we use, can you imagine how much label you consume in European Union every year? Any idea?
No.
I give you the answer because just basically 10 million tons of garments are consumed in the European Union. And let's say average, each garment has 300 grams. That means 30 million garments are consumed every year in the European Union. And in the each garment, if you put the labels and so the weight of these labels are 10 grams per garment, that makes almost 300,000 tons of labels you consume in the European Union every year. That means 1,000 tons of label we consume in the European Union, which means almost in one truck, if you put 20 tons, that means every day 50 trucks of labels are consumed in the European Union. And as soon as the consumer get the garment from the shop, they bring it to home and they immediately cut the labels because label itself is not, so you
It's
cannot carry
heavy. Yeah.
and this is quite heavy. So in every garment, if you use 10 grams of label because you need composition instructions, washing instructions, let's say other stuff, and then so you have like a small book, label book. So, and with that label, as soon as you cut it and you throw it into the garbage, and that label, the quantity, as I said, almost 1,000 tons every day you use. you consume. And these are all microplastic because this is not recyclable, because this is small pieces and you just throw it into the garbage. Even with the recyclable items, the blue bag, or if you throw it to the organics, doesn't matter, it is not recyclable at all. And 300,000 tons of labels every year it is consumed in Europe. This is just the figure in European Union, by the way, not in the whole world. Yeah, we are not talking
Doesn't
whole
count
world.
China or USA.
Okay, so this is in the USA almost similar figures, but to avoid that, to receive this microplastic from the sources, or to at least the material wise to save that items, we can make QR code on the garment. So it is simple and it is easier. So
Yeah.
you just print the QR code on the garment, whatever the part they can decide, the retailers, and maybe they can only put one label showing their brands, but all the other instructions, washing instruction, or composition information, or the origin of the garment, etc., you can print on the garment with the QR code. And today everybody has a smartphone, and they can easily get all this information from the QR code, and then they can even keep it in their smartphone, and with the pictures, even how much carbon is consumed during the production of this garment, or where it was manufactured.
Right.
So you can even trace every step of the garment. So this is really, I mean, material saving idea, I would say.
So now I'm going to stop, and it's been really, really interesting to talk to both of you. I think we're going to ask you, Zafer, to join other seminars in the future. I really want to get into the polyester subject. I think we can do a panel either in our foundation or with Kingpins. But I think you have a lot of incredible information. And again, for those people watching, please take a look at Gamma Recycle online and check it out. And Sedef, thank you very much. I appreciate it as always. And I hope and look forward to the day that you are the first ones to release an indigo polyester warp. That'll be wonderful.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, indeed. I appreciate it.